The great acquisition war, Sony is answering the call. Exciting news. Stay with me. So Microsoft has been on a tear acquiring almost anyone who will agree to an acquisition, and why not? They've got the money to do that. Essentially, they're the only company with the money to play catch up. Sony building up relationships over the past 25 years. Nobody could do that in such a short amount of time unless they had a boatload of cash, and Microsoft definitely has that, capped off with the $8 billion acquisition of Bethesda. But now Sony is demonstrating exactly what they said their strategy has been and will be going forward, and that's fostering relationships over time, building those relationships out, giving some cash here and there, watching studios grow from one game to the next until they get to a point where they believe that they're ready to be part of the PlayStation family. And it turns out 2 studios are now joining that PlayStation family. It should really come as no surprise that Housemarque, they've been making games for PlayStation for years now, and most recently capping off their growth with the commercial and critical success of Returnal, a PlayStation 5 brand new IP, and it has done remarkably well for a new IP. And this was sort of the tipping point for Sony and the bigwigs at PlayStation, and now Housemarque is a first-party studio. This bodes incredibly well going forward because not only are they a new studio underneath PlayStation, but they've proven themselves recently with a brand new IP. So this is essentially now a brand new Sony PlayStation intellectual property. I don't think a developer's ever been purchased right after they created a hit new IP. So this is very telling as to Sony's strategy. What they're doing over time is fostering those relationships, watching those studios create different types of games on their platform, and over time, that growth becomes something that Sony becomes interested in. Now, other developers, they don't become interested in, but this one has been working with PlayStation and Sony for quite some time. They've made stellar games for PlayStation, and again, a brand new IP at the beginning of a generation, proving themselves and then being acquired. So you've got Uncharted, you've got Horizon, you've got Ghost of Tsushima, you've got Spider-Man, you've got Last of Us, and now you've got Returnal and Housemarque in that portfolio. This is a big pickup. I think most people saw this as making sense, and this is the strategy that Sony likes, fostering those relationships going forward. And I know that they took a few shots saying that throwing money at a problem isn't the best strategy, of course referring to Microsoft. But look, if Bethesda was willing to be purchased by Sony and Sony had $8 billion to do it, I'm sure they would have. So these are just 2 different strategies. Not one is not better than the other or more right than the other. I think that it demonstrates how different these companies are and how different the experiences are going to be going forward. This is absolutely great news. I haven't played Returnal yet. I can't even find a PlayStation 5. But again, more first party, more new IP, a hit new IP at the beginning of a generation. So it's not like over the course of their lifespan, they've looked at all their old games that they created, and I'm sure they did that. But the capper was Returnal, a brand new IP, and they wanted to hold on to this. They wanted it to be part of the PlayStation family, and I don't blame them based on the reaction and what I'm hearing from people who've actually played the game. Now, the next studio, I think, is even more exciting, and that is Blue Point Games, believe it or not. The studio that's made a name for themselves taking old games and breathing new life into them. They are absolutely one of the most talented developers in the industry, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next. And I'm sure they've got a few ideas of their own and maybe a new IP as well. And when you think about it, this is an interesting acquisition. With all the rumors of the Metal Gear Solid remake, this is the studio that everyone sort of has pegged for doing that, because all of the games that they've remade in the past have been absolutely incredible. They lead the industry in doing that. So the idea of a new IP by them and the talent that they have and the technology that they have is just extremely excited. So this is a great example of the difference in strategies. These 2 studios have been making games for PlayStation for quite some time. They have a relationship built up over time. Sony's giving them some money over the years to help them with projects, and they were hands off with them. That's important. A lot of developers talk about that freedom that they have with PlayStation, the fact that they are truly hands off and let these developers do what they want. Over years, that relationship built up to the point where when an acquisition was possible, these studios said yes. And you think about the acquisition of Insomniac for $330 million. That's a steal. So that tells you right there that that developer really wanted to go with PlayStation, because I think in the open market, Insomniac would go for much, much more. And these are just two studios now adding in to Sony's portfolio. The consolidation war of 2021 is in full swing. Now I'm hoping that this dies down a bit, because I don't want both of these companies to just buy up everyone. There has to be room for independent studios to just create what they want and be outside of the framework of these two mega corporations. But this is great news going forward, because all it means is that both of these companies now are competing with each other. They know that they need to give us things that are absolutely incredible in order to get our dollar. And that in the end is all that it's about, because it leads to great content. I can't wait to see what Housemarque does next. There's a rumor that they're working on something even bigger than Returnal. They're already hard at work on their next new IP. And Returnal's success guarantees that you'll see a sequel to that one day as well. So this is great news for Sony, and it's great news really for everyone. There's going to be a lot of competition. There's going to be a lot of great content. This might be the generation of the best exclusive content we've ever seen, coupled with the best third-party content we've ever seen. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Please like and subscribe. Think about sharing this video out on your favorite social media platform of choice. It would really help me grow the channel. And I will see you in the next video.